My ancestor Silas Daniel did not live to see his 20th birthday. At the age of 17, he followed his older brother down the path of war and enlisted private in the 37th Alabama Infantry on May 13, 1862. They were both captured at Vicksburg in July of 1863, but released soon after that. They rejoined their unit and were chased across the South for the remainder of the war by Union General William Tecumseh Sherman. He was killed in battle at a place called Pickett's Mill, right by New Hope Church, Georgia, on May 27, 1864. A piece of ground fought over with originally no special purpose. Now it is a place that means something very special to me. The American Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865. The war produced about 1 million casualties, including about 600,000 soldier deaths, 2/3 of them by disease. This also included 50,000 civilian deaths. The war started to take form when President Lincoln was elected President of the United States in 1860. Following his election, the Cotton States felt pressured from the Republican government that slavery expansion would not be permitted, and soon to come would be the abolishment of slavery altogether. Fearing for their economy that relied heavily on slave labor, the southern states formed a confederacy against the government and seceded from the Union. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter, starting the most deadliest war in American history. After Confederate General Joe Johnston retreated to Allatoona Pass on May 19th, General Sherman decided that he would most likely pay dearly for attacking Johnston there, so he decided to move around Johnston's left flank and steal march towards Dallas, Georgia. Johnston anticipated Sherman's move and shifted his army into Sherman's path, centering a new line at New Hope Church, Georgia. Sherman mistakenly guessed that Johnston had a small force at New Hope Church and that the body of his army remains at Allatoona Pass. Therefore, Sherman orders Major General Joseph Hooker to attack. Hooker had hoped to catch the rebels off guard, but Confederate General John Bell Hood had other ideas. Taking his cue from his cavalry scouts, Hood began entrenchments and selecting defensive positions. The battle raged with such ferocity, and with a fierce thunderstorm brewing and settling in, the Union forces settled down in their positions and awaited daylight. Difficult terrain prevented Hooker from coordinating his attack effectively, causing his men to suffer severe casualties. On May 26, both sides were entrenched and skirmishing continued throughout the day. The Union forces were praised for their courage and coolness, but the battle was not to be theirs. The following day, May 27, 1864, the two sides collided in a bloody skirmish called Pickett's Mill. Sherman wanted to take advantage of Johnston's weak right flank, but the Confederates had been prepared for an attack on their flank and were able to hold off the assault, resulting in high casualties for the Union. The result was a Union withdrawal and a Confederate victory. This is the place Silas met his end. Although the South did not suffer many casualties, he was one of the unlucky few that did. The battle has been called New Hope Church, but the soldiers knew it to be Hell's Hole. Legend has it that even with the storm and battle raging around them, one could still hear the agonizing moans of the wounded soldiers rising from the ravine, trying to crawl out of the water-filled trenches away from the gunfire, and it is said New Hope Church remains haunted with the ghosts of these soldiers to this day. I have found records of my ancestor's death at New Hope Church, almost exactly 2 years after he signed up to fight. He was approximately 19 or 20 years old. There was obviously no funeral service for him and no marked grave to remember him by. I don't even know the way he died. All it says is that he was killed in battle. Maybe he is one of the ghosts supposedly roaming the battlefields to this day.